Hello everyone, this is Money Mom. Welcome to the channel. I wanted to chat with you guys today about 1970s money saving tips we need to bring back. Let's get right into it. I grew up in the heart of the 1970s. I was born in the 60s, but the time that I really remember the most influence on me was the 1970s. It was a great decade. Let me know if any of you miss anything from the 1970s. I sure get nostalgic about it. Okay, the first thing is mending our clothes. This is a sewing basket from my mother. Now, my mother didn't sew her clothes. I know some people, their mother did that, sew their clothes, but my mother was good at ironing and mending, so she knew how to hem up your pants and things like that. I have to be honest with you, I did take sewing in home ec, and I remember taking that in junior high, but I was not very good at it, and so I've never really gotten to sew or do any of that. I just never got into it. Let me know if you guys like to sew. Is that a skill that you have? That is not a skill that I currently have. Doesn't mean I can't develop it, but it's not something I currently have. But I think it could save people a lot of money if they did learn how to sew, especially like sewing a button, something simple like that. Okay, number two, this is something I know many Americans don't do, but many people in other countries do. And I have done it before, but not in a long time, not since my daughter's been a baby and I was more at home and worked less outside the home. And it was hanging your clothes to dry. I do have a clothesline outside. I just didn't like the texture of my clothes drying on the line. They were kind of like crunchy. I don't know if that's common. Maybe you guys can give me a hint on that. But, you know, we have a lot of birds in the area. And so I just really didn't enjoy doing it, but I know you can save a lot on electricity. It's good for the environment. But my mother used to hang our clothes until I think the 1980s. We always hung our clothes out to dry back then, but you just don't see people doing that. I think we did have a dryer, but we only used it every now and then, okay? Number three, this was huge. Bartering and helping your neighbors. You know, everybody had different skills. Like, you know, my mother was able to cut hair, and so my mother cut a lot of the kids' hair around the neighborhood. That saved quite a bit of money. My dad was really good working on cars, and he helped people out with that, but people helped our family out too. Everybody helped each other out, and then also with that bartering and things, let's say you had a little boy that was 8, and he just grew like a weed over the summer, and maybe you have a next door neighbor, he has a little boy named Johnny, and hey, Johnny could use, you know, some of your clothes from your little boy. You'd share and help each other out, bartering and helping neighbors. Number four, we know this one, cooking from scratch. And I cook from scratch a lot, but I do also, I'm just being honest with you, I take shortcuts too. You know, so not everything is 100% completely from scratch, but I do a lot of cooking from scratch myself. Okay, the next one, owning one vehicle. Now, that's a lot more challenging now depending where you live, and if you have two people that are working full-time and you're working on opposite, you know, sides of the city, that might be difficult. But I've known a lot of families that somehow make it work just owning one car, but it's going to depend on a lot of factors, but that could save a lot of money if you can make that work, okay? Number six, and this was huge in our family, but things lasted longer too, and it's, especially electronics now, it'd be hard to do this one. Fixing items instead of replacing it. My one tip for fixing any kind of electronic is just turn it off and restart it. Anyway, honestly, that has helped fix quite a bit of things. But fixing items instead of just replacing something. Or let's say something kind of looks like it's seen better days, like our early 1990s microwave, which is kind of banged up and not that attractive. Just keeping it anyway, keeping a desk even though, so keeping things or fixing them up instead of just replacing it because you want something newer. Okay, this was huge, number seven, and we did this, pay cash. We paid cash for everything. I don't remember my parents ever using a charge card. Now, they did have a Sears charge card, and occasionally we used that, but very, very rarely. We usually paid cash. Number eight, gardening. We always had a garden going until I would say the 90s, but we always had a garden. We had fresh vegetables in our garden. And I actually had a garden several years ago, and I'm thinking of getting back into it because the cucumbers and the tomatoes from the garden that I had, this was back in the late 90s, it was so good. I mean, there's nothing better than garden fresh tomatoes and cucumbers. Okay, the next thing, repurpose and reuse. I do remember my mother washing out plastic bags and reusing them. And last but not least, entertainment for free. You know, or like if you went to a drive-in, do you remember drive-ins? You'd get a whole bunch of people and get them in a car. So you would do a lot of free entertainment. You didn't go out to eat very often unless it was a special occasion. You gathered people at your house, had game night. You know, we would do a lot of outdoor activities. We did own snowmobiles, and we used to go snowmobile riding, and just everybody would chip in, which made it really affordable. These are 1970s habits I'd love to see come back. What are some habits, spending habits, and frugal habits from your time when you grew up that you'd like to see resurface again? That's all I have to say for now. I love you, I appreciate you, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.